Boys and girls, I need just one moment of your time. Please empty your brain. I should be the only thing you're focusing on right now. My voice, and my voice alone. Now I'm going to mention one phrase, and after I'm done mentioning that phrase, I want you to blurt out loud the first thing that pops into your mind. Okay? Ready? Set. Call of Duty Zombies. Was it Kino der Toten? Statistically, since there are dozens of zombies maps, the percentage of you that picked Kino der Toten is actually fairly low, but I'm willing to bet that it is the highest percentage. A lot of you were thinking of Kino der Toten, Origins, Transit, Der Riese. Everyone thought of something different because some of us are older, some of us are newer, and I could be wrong, but I tried this test with multiple people, and Kino der Toten was always the answer. It seems to be highly linked with Call of Duty Zombies, without mentioning a specific zombies game, which leads me to believe that Kino der Toten is the single most iconic zombies map ever. And I realize I subconsciously planted Kino in your brain with it being in the title, but I told you to empty your mind, goddammit. I think it's important to distinguish the term nostalgic from iconic because those are two separate things. Nostalgia is totally subjective. I might have memories on maps that you don't. And though the majority of us agree that Kino is nostalgic, I think it's unfair to say that it is the most nostalgic because we're all different. But I think we can all agree that Kino is at least a top 3 iconic map ever, and in my opinion, number 1. There is some competition, I mentioned those maps earlier, but when thinking of Call of Duty Zombies, when thinking of Nazi zombies, Kino der Toten always pops up. And why? Why is that? We are going to take a look at that. Welcome to the analysis of Kino der Toten, the most iconic zombies map ever. If you want to catch the next episode, I suggest you subscribe. This is a series where I analyze Treyarch zombies maps. In the last episode, we did Der Riese, and the next one we're going to do 5, and there is a playlist for all of them in case you want to binge them. We start with, quite literally, Black Ops Zombies, right after the revolution of Der Riese in World at War. Now, interestingly enough, Kino der Toten was designed to be a World at War map, but they decided to launch it with Black Ops 1, which is why it shares a similar vibe and a similar atmosphere as all the other World at War maps. Though Zombies was popular with Kino der Toten, Verrückt, and Shino Numa, the game hadn't become mainstream yet. Der Riese, of course, took a giant step towards being mainstream. People started playing the map a lot. Zombies was rapidly becoming more and more popular, especially with Der Riese. Then came along, at the time, the best-selling Xbox 360 game and the best-selling Call of Duty title ever, Black Ops. Modern Warfare 3 would eventually surpass it in sales, but Modern Warfare 3 doesn't have zombies in it. The best-selling zombies game ever is Black Ops. Everyone and their grandmother is playing Black Ops and the new Black Ops Zombies. Now, which maps are players presented with when they play this game for the first time? Good old Kino der Toten. You would unlock 5 upon completing the campaign and unlock Dead Ops Arcade as a side mode by typing in DOA in the computer in the main lobby, but those maps wouldn't be presented to you immediately. Kino der Toten was there from the first day. And as with every Zombies title, the launch map tends to be the most popular, simply because not everybody is playing the DLCs, not everybody can afford them. In 2010, with the release of this game, there is a giant surge. Call of Duty is exponentially growing and players are hopping in for the first time, which obviously means people are playing zombies more than they ever have. And I can attest to this because Black Ops 1 was my first Call of Duty and Kino der Toten was my first map as well. I was one of the many people that hopped onto this game for the first time. Kino der Toten was the most popular zombies map and the most popular zombies game. It was the only map you didn't have to purchase or achieve. It was your go-to zombies experience back in 2010. Now that's all fine and dandy. Kino der Toten is likely the most played map ever, but that doesn't necessarily make it the most iconic. There's gotta be something that made it stick, something that made us return to the map over and over again. Because if Kino was a shitty map, nobody would play it. If everyone hated it, they would have all played 5, and that perhaps could have been the most iconic map instead. So what about Kino kept us coming back for more? What about the Theater of the Dead was so appealing? I don't think it was one specific element, I think it was a culmination of things. First and foremost, it was a simple map. Not everything was an Easter egg. You could look around the map and take everything for what it was. You were never confused, you were never lost, and you never really needed to look up a tutorial for anything. Your objective was clear, turn on the power and get to Pack-a-Punch. Nothing was unfamiliar, we had done all of this on previous maps. And for those who didn't play those maps, it was easy to learn how to do it. Linking the teleporter was as simple as clicking 2 buttons, and I understand that for some players it is mindless and boring and not fun, because there is a chunk of the community that is hardcore. They like the Easter eggs, they like the difficult quests, but the majority of the community is casual, especially back then. Kino der Toten, along with all of the World at War maps and Black Ops 1 maps, appealed to the majority, the casual. Of course, Zombies has to progress over time. It was inevitable that Black Ops 3 and Black Ops 4 Zombies were going to be advanced and much more complicated. It's only natural for the game to become more and more complex, but along with that, you're going to lose a lot of casual people. Kino der Toten had enough substance to not feel like a bare bones Kino der Toten. Toten, where there was genuinely nothing to do. But it still appealed heavily to the casual player, and once again, the casual player was king. Now, another reason why this map is so iconic is because the most iconic strategy in zombies was popularized here. Running around an area and hoarding up zombies would quickly become the strategy. It was the quickest and most efficient way to get through the rounds. The strategy of training zombies was introduced on Kino Numa and was still a thing in Darice, but Kino der Toten is where it exploded. The map contains several viable training areas, the most prominent of which the stage. You had plenty of space to roam around and hoard up the zombies. You had the teleporter just beside you for a quick means of escape, and the new turret trap was also available in the center of the stage. Other good training areas included the lobby and the alley. And of course, along with the strategy came the new Thunder Gun. In contrast to modern wonder weapons, the Thunder Gun isn't statistically overwhelming. The ammunition is lackluster, you technically couldn't get max ammos with it in the BO1 version, but aside from those technicalities, when using the Thunder Gun in real time, it is overwhelming. The ultimate save me wonder weapon. If you were ever trapped in any scenario, all you had to do was click your trigger and you were good. You would shoot the zombies to a different fucking galaxy. And at the time when all we had previously seen was an unreliable ray gun and a good but not extraordinary Wonderwaff, the Thunder Gun really shined. It was simply remarkable. When you got this gun out of the box, you damn near creamed your jeans. You honestly felt like a god holding this thing, and when upgraded, it was actually called the Zeus Cannon. The Thunder Gun was the first truly magnificent wonder weapon, the first gun that placed you above the zombies, and it would quickly become an icon along with Kino der Toten. Because you had so much space to work with and such a good wonder weapon, this was the first map you'd see people consistently getting to high rounds. Sure, people were getting to high rounds on broken ass Kino Numa and World at War. This was the first non-glitchy map that people were genuinely getting high up there. Kino der Toten brought back many features like the 4 original perks, the Hellhounds, the electric trap, but it also innovated quite a bit. Along with the Thunder Gun and the turret, you also had the fire trap and the new Nova Gas crawlers, which admittedly are a pain in the ass, but were nonetheless a good addition. And in the Black Ops 3 remaster, a Wonder Fizz machine would be placed in the back of the stage. You could get Widow's Wine, Deadshot Daiquiri, and Stamina up through it. Obviously, Gobblegum and Double Pack-a-Punch would be added as well, and of course, the graphics and the engine was much smoother and better. I think another reason why this map is so iconic is the general aura of the map, the general atmosphere. It isn't straight up terrifying like Verrückt. It's creepy, it's bone-chilling in a very subtle way. When glancing around the map, you can almost envision the people walking around. The moviegoers, grabbing a drink in the lobby, walking up the grand staircase, grabbing a seat, maybe walking outside to the alleyway to smoke. You could also see what it may have been like for the performers, with the dressing room. The cinema was once full of life, people walking around enjoying themselves, and now it's filled with the living dead. Rubble covering the floor, blood smeared all over the walls. A dark, depressing theater filled with zombies. Again, no jump scares, no hanging corpses, just a very subtle and a very terrifying vibe. And though there was no main Easter egg, there were many minor side Easter eggs. In the dressing room by the barrier in the back, you would hear a knocking, as if somebody was trying to get out of the drawer. All over the map, you can see tubes, which is filled with what looks like Element 115 patients, or maybe aliens. There are also a couple of radios. It makes the player feel very uncomfortable, and I think people genuinely enjoy that feeling. I think we can all appreciate a creepy map that puts us out of our comfort zone. There's something innately within humans that makes us enjoy that kind of stuff. That's why we like watching horror movies. Kino der Toten encapsulates this vibe that makes you want to return for more and more. It possesses an atmosphere that personally I don't think any other zombies map has achieved. I believe this is another reason why it's so iconic. This of course paired with the Nazi propaganda, the swastikas all over the map and the Nazi zombies. And I don't usually talk about the songs on the maps, I usually just let them play in the background of the video. But the song of this map in particular, 115 by Elena Sigmund and Kevin Sherwood, has got to be the most iconic song in zombies history. Yes, Kino der Toten is a basic map and can be boring at times. The map is not without its flaws, but it did do so many things right and it etched out an outline for what future zombies maps would look like. It is simply an iconic map. And again, I don't want to blend the terms iconic and nostalgic together because they are different things, but this map is so nostalgic as well. I have so many memories of my friends and I playing on this map, leaving my friends behind in the teleporter, them leaving me behind in the teleporter, grabbing an MP40 off the wall for the earlier rounds, then exchanging it in for a Thunder Gun for those later rounds. And I'm not afraid to admit this, but when I was a young lad playing this map, especially at nighttime, I was scared shitless. In fact, it took a lot of courage to play this map by myself. I do understand though that that's subjective and not everyone feels that way, so I would entitle this video the most nostalgic, but again, it is the most iconic map in zombies history. It encapsulates classic zombies, Nazi zombies, whatever you want to call it. It has that feeling. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is my analysis of the Theater of the Dead. Let me know yours down below in the comments section. What do you think about this map? Is it the most iconic map? I would love to hear your arguments. There are certainly some cases for other maps. If you're a bro, hit that like button down below. go subscribe so you don't miss the next episode, which is going to be 5, like I said. Also, if you want to keep up to date and participate in polls and all that kind of action, go follow me on Twitter. The link is in the description. It's totally free. My Discord and Instagram links are also down there as well. I hope you have a fantastic day, and I gotta go, so stay awesome, dude.